what happened to the broadcast. Good morning, sir, and thank you very much.
Yeah,
thank you very much for coming on. Now, you're a two-term member. You have 2 terms under your belt.
That's right.
In the House of Representatives.
That's right.
And you are desirous of another term.
Yeah.
Well, you don't really have too much of a choice about it because you won the primaries. So I can't say, I want to give somebody else a chance. I mean, well, the people spoke in the primaries and say, look, Otuke Akonsi.
That's right.
So here you are. Now, you've been very, very active. I've been reading articles and all sorts of things have been going on, you know, and at one time, Honorable Gbajabiamila, who I imagine that you're quite close with, was when he was speaking to the people in the area, was saying that, look, the longer a representative stays, you know, in office, the better it is for development of that area in that it will continue to feed on critical mass. That is something you identify with?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, definitely. And that's what we call parliamentary longevity.
Yes.
The longer you stay in the parliament, you understand the politics of the parliament, and you are also able, if you know what you are doing, you are able, you develop the right contact and connection for the benefit to attract projects to your constituency. The reference you made to the this comment of the Right Honorable Speaker, my good brother, my leader, in March.
Yes,
it was on the occasion of the commissioning of 13 school projects that I facilitated. I mean, namely, a block of 6 classrooms with furniture, Oduobara, in Ekpe, Ame Children High School, Odomola Community High School, Agbowa Community High School, Ayodelu Academy, Noforija LA Primary School, Oriba LA Primary School, Aborigine. Aborigine is very close to our border with Ogun State after La Campagne Tropicana, you know, there, you know, so towards Odeomi. I mean, that remote area. And that same day, he commissioned a 100-bed hostel, you know, for students in Ekpe Grammar School, you know, to replace the Punt hostel, and also ICT center in this school, Ogumadede College, you know, with 81 computers. To promote.
In fact, a lot of work was done at that Ogumadede because apart from the students themselves, there's something also for the teachers, the lecturers. Some facility.
Oh, no, that's in Orugbo.
Okay, so different project.
That's staff quarters for teachers in Orugbo, because based on the request from the community, led by the KBSC, that teachers, you know, posted there, they do not stay because of the cost of traveling daily to the place. So we provided that the staff quarters, you know, for them, you know, in that community. So it was at that time, on that occasion, that Gbajabiamila made that statement.
Yes.
In response to the request by all the Obas, all the KBSC, I have a total of 18 KBSCs in a Federal constituency, and they met that day, you know, and before going to the commissioning ceremony, they received him at the palace of Oloja of Ekpe, who is the paramount vice chairman of Lagos State Council of Obas and Chiefs, and there they declared to him that they have enjoyed what we've been able to do, and that they want me to go for another time, and that it should do everything humanly possible to support their request. So it was in response to that he made that statement.
Gbajabiamila was making those comments.
And I must also state this, that the people of Ekpe are also very grateful to Femi Gbajabiamila. He's been quite supportive, you know, particularly with...
Is he from Ekpe himself?
He's our leader in Lagos State.
Well, okay.
He's a leader in Lagos State.
Yes,
and
yes.
I happen to be very close to him, and I've used my relationship with him to impact positively on the lives of my people.
There you go.
I mean, the Itoikin Epe Road, anybody familiar with that area, between 2018, 2018, thereabout, that road was impassable. And it became the center of activities of kidnappers. There were so many people kidnapped on that road. But with the intervention of Honorable Fabio Miller, the place today is more tolerable. Between Ketu, as close as Ketu is to Ekpe, before that intervention, it could take you more than 1 to 2 hours to get to Ekpe from Ketu. But today, with that intervention, the travel time has been reduced to about 15 minutes or thereabout.
No wonder.
So, and the place is safer now. And right now, with his intervention, the bridge at Mola Joyi, which was constructed during the administration of Mblaji Johnson, has been awarded for reconstruction. Work will start any moment from now. So Gbajabiamila Amila has been quite wonderful and has been quite supportive of the people of Ekpe Federal Constituency.
Indeed, a lot of work. And so, as I recalled what he said at the time, that the longer an elected member stays in Parliament, usually, the better it is. And that's why he referred to all the projects. There are quite a number of projects that we probably don't want to bore our viewers by going over now.
No, but in the education sector, but in, for instance, in the area of commerce, we intervened at Ayetoro Market. If you're familiar with Ekpe, Ayetoro Market is a traditional market. In fact, I can say it with all confidence that Ayetoro Market has been in existence for not less than about 100 years. Okay. Because my grandmother, if she had been alive, she would have been more than 100 years old. Yes. Owned a market there. A stall there. A stall there. So
it goes back.
It's been reconstructed. During the time of Ambode, the place was demolished for reconstruction, but it didn't stay long enough to actualize that project. So we have gone in there, and as we speak, we have provided 66 lock-up shops under the first phase. We are still going to 200, just as we did in Itokin. If you are familiar with Itokin, we also intervened in Itokin. Under the first phase, we provided a total of 120 open stores, which were allocated to the market women free of charge. Right now, we have completed the construction of additional 40 lock-up shops. The same thing we are doing at Mojoda. Mojoda is our boundary with Ogun State. Okay. So in Eredo. So we have completed the construction of 56 lock-up shops under the first phase. We are providing additional.
When people hear this at home or read about it in the papers, laudable projects, but costing a pretty penny. And people often have the notion that it is the honorable member or the senator that is actually sponsoring or putting his hand in his pocket and doing all of this. Whereas, yes, there will be some things that the people will put, but it's not that everything comes out of the honorable members' offices. There you go.
Facilitate.
Because
you facilitate, you sponsor.
And you lobby.
There are constituency projects, which are projects that members nominate, for citing within their constituency. But they are not, nobody gives you money for the construction of such projects. Okay. You name an agency that will handle the construction, and the agency is responsible for all for the procurement process up to the appointment, selection of the contractor.
When you say an agency, for example, just for a market, one of the markets, for example, so people can understand how it works.
Yes.
There are constituency projects. Yes. You name an agency.
Smedan,
for instance.
Smedan constructed the 120 open stores at Itoki for me.
Okay.
So, but it's my project.
Exactly.
My project.
Exactly.
So, but
because you can rightly claim.
But the process of selecting the contractor execution is. But I will certify that the job has been satisfactorily completed.
So that's how it works.
That's how it works. But one thing is that your ability as a representative of your people to identify the needs of your people, to also identify areas of opportunities to actualize, to provide the needs of your people, through the execution of this project, now varies. Now depends on individual capacity to lobby.
And I think this is probably what will make the difference between honorable members serving throughout the country. Yeah. Because whereas in some areas, the people of that constituency might not be too happy because they'll say, what has been done for us? Yeah. It probably goes back to, it's not a matter of him being stingy or anything like that. He might be lacking in talents to lobby, to connect, to network.
That's where the individual something.
That's where the individuality of everybody
comes in. But there are also, for instance, there are also some that are sponsored, directly financed by individuals. For instance,
I can imagine.
For the past 27 months in my constituency, I identified the need to intervene to support the elderly people in my constituency. We selected a total of 100 to start with and placed them on a monthly allowance of 10,000 naira. Today, there are 140. There are 140 of them that on a monthly basis, they collect 10,000 naira.
An honorarium or
stipend,
that is from you, that is individually.
That's a total of 1.4 million naira every month. It started 27 months ago, and I promised them that for as long as I remain member representing the federal constituency, I will continue with that project. Wow. And the response, the feedback has been wonderful, and I've been encouraged. In fact, the number keeps growing. Because there was a particular woman. Do you understand Ijebu? There was a particular woman who said that once I sent a message to me, spoke with me on phone and said that, Mr. Ijoba pension.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that was an individual. I think that was clear. That was not Konki Jebu. I mean, everybody can understand that one. So the woman is saying that I'm not being a government official or a retired government person. Here I am getting a pension thanks to Wale Raji.
There are also some other projects like I've had cause to sponsor the supply and installation of transformers and all what have you, So these are things that we do. So personally,
that is why Honorable Gbajabiamila said that these projects, are worthwhile and people-oriented.
Yes,
that's why he made. One can understand that now.
For instance, under the there's in fact a particular one that is coming up today in Ekpe. That's a Light Up Ekpe, project. For security has been a major issue, and the criminal-minded in the society taking advantage of darkness at night, to perpetrate all these various activities. So we started the installation of solar street light, high-power solar street light. We have done, under the first phase, 510 in various communities. If you have been to Ekpe, Ekpe is a very large community in terms of land mass. We have barless, more than 100 barless in my constituency. 18 or 19 KBACs in my constituency. So we've distributed, we've installed 510. But today, we are flagging off the second phase, Light Up Epe project, with the installation of 840 additional, taking it to 1,000, about 350 thereabout, So to light up the dark spots, dark spots within our constituency.
Quite laudable, it must be said. But I'll tell you what, I've got to go on a quick break now. We'll be right back. Do please stay with us. We'll continue when we come back.
Everyone has a Chivita this season. What's your Chivita?
Okay, welcome back. A quick one, as I said. My guest is Honorable Wale Raji. He's a member of the House of Representatives. He's seeking a third term, and he's been telling me about projects that have been going on in his constituency, all of it cumulatively over the past 8 years. Now he's wanting a third term, and at least within his party, he was overwhelmingly voted for to indeed go contest. Honorable Wale Raji, now that you've given us an insight into how it works, the way a parliamentarian gets his work done. There are some that are individually and personally sponsored, but largely it's about knowing your people, it's about lobbying for them, it's about ensuring that projects, constituency projects are indeed done and all of that. Thank you very much. You've given us an insight into that. But you touched on something like the lighting project, the solar light projects that there will be a second phase today. Now, you were saying that this is brought about by the unfortunate incidents of criminality because of all this darkness. Do you think that is a problem in Lagos? And whereas we're working around it or against it, the actual permanent solution surely would be that these people, these youths, if they are youths, if they were gainfully employed, and it's not just an Ekpe thing, not just a Lagos thing, it's a national thing. If these youths were actually gainfully employed, then we wouldn't have this much of a problem. Do you think that we as a people have missed it by not concentrating on that aspect about developing the youth from, instead of all the people that we see around Agberos, doing apprenticeship in that area, they take it as a serious job, and anything could happen. Do you think we could do a lot more about our youth development and ensuring that they are educated as if, maybe whether they like it or not, it's a rule, it's the law. You must be in school as opposed to what we have now.
Yes. Well, like you said, issue of crime, banditry, and what have you, is a national problem. And Lagos is a mini Nigeria. So everybody, seek the greener pasture.
Lagos is
in Lagos.
Yes.
So, and for your information, there are so many, right now, many of the people creating problems are not necessarily regular residents of Lagos State. You see, like in my constituency, for instance, now, you'll be surprised. Many of the Okada riders there, they are
they're not
non-Yoruba speaking, and I do not want to mention any particular part of the country, but they are non-Yoruba speaking. So, that gives you an indication of where they are from. But
it's not exactly a very straightforward issue.
It's not a very straightforward issue. Now, but the Lagos State government, I mean, the successive Lagos State government have made efforts, towards youth empowerment. I mean, you will recall that right now we have the Employment Trust Fund, which has created opportunities for young men and women with entrepreneurial ideas, to get finances at affordable, and as easily accessible funds to develop their businesses. Okay. So, and also industrialization in my constituency, for instance. I mean, you have the Dangote refinery up there. You have the Lagos Seaport. I mean, Lekki Seaport up there, and
so all of these will help.
Definitely, it has helped. It has helped. It has helped.
And can only
it's not. And Lagos State, the RRS, and all what the efforts of the present administration. I mean, in Lagos State, has really reduced the crime rate. But our standard. I mean, Lagos is relatively safer than any other part of the country. But our aspiration in Lagos is to have a zero crime rate.
At least working towards that.
And we are working towards that. Okay. So, but apart from activities to curb the activities of criminals, it's not as if it's a major problem, but also to promote nightlife, in Epe. I mean, so, and that has really, for instance, our night market. I mean, night market in Epe is one of the areas that have benefited from our Light Up Epe program.
There is a night market.
Oh, there's a night market.
When you say night market, does that mean that the market opens around 6 o'clock?
Oh, yes.
And then,
yes,
continues till...
By First Bank in Epe. I mean, it just an extension of the Aitoro market, which is under construction right now. I mean, it's one of the areas that benefited under the first phase. But this second phase now, we have identified areas that all these 840 high-powered solar street light will be installed. Okay. We are starting today, and within the next 1 week or so, the project, I mean, most of dark spots will be
on the way. Okay. As I said, we now have an insight into what you, as an individual, Honorable Wale Raji, what you've been working on and what you hope to continue with. Now, let's look at the wider subject matter of the battle for Lagos, because this federal constituency here, there are other parties who are also gunning for that particular seat.
Yes.
It's natural. That's democracy, and that's all of that.
Yes.
So you've given us a very good account of your experience and your service to the people.
Yeah.
But every time you go for revalidation, every 4 years you go for revalidation by the people at large. How do you see it? Because our subject matter is the battle for Lagos.
Yes.
Do you think it's going to be, I mean, are you, well, you would have to be optimistic, but imagine the PDP is interested in that particular seat. It's traditionally been APC, Labour, and all the parties have a right to be interested.
Yes.
Do you feel any apprehension?
No, we see over the years, APC, Lagos State has been a progressive state.
Yes.
No doubt about it. From the days of AD, AC, ACN, APC, and we'll give it to our leader, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for the solid foundation that was laid in 1999, that successive governors, of the state have been building on, and over the years we have earned the confidence of the people of Lagos State. And since Asiwaju left, none of the governors that succeeded him, has been a disappointment to the people of Lagos State. Is it Fashola you want to talk about that took development of the state to another level? I mean, Ambode came, built on it, and here we are. Mr. Selebu himself, Sanwo-Olu, I mean, that has taken development in Lagos State under Sanwo-Olu has taken a new dimension. You know, I mean, in the area of school education, he has done very well to reduce out of school. I mean, the number of out of school children in Lagos State. We've done very well in the area of education. We've done very well in the area of infrastructure. We've done very well in the area of agriculture. In my constituency, I mean, recently, the foundation of a facility for processing of agricultural inputs, I mean, agricultural products, you know, was laid, you know, and when this is completed, it's been said to be probably the largest in the whole of Africa, you know, so that's happening. And in the area of employment, and in the area of security, Lagos State is much, much safer than any other part of the country. So we have earned the confidence of the people of Lagos State, and I'm sure, and in addition, our leader is on the ballot this time around, and that's a plus to us, you know. So
talking about
Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I mean, it is the contest, the choice, the choice is obvious. It's obvious, you know, before the people of Lagos State, and from the feedback that we've been getting, I mean, there's no doubt that Lagos State remains APC state, and we are going to consolidate our hold on.
And that's across the board, you know, from the House of Reps to the Senate,
the presidential,
right, to the governorship,
the presidential, the governorship, all our senators, all our House of Reps members, all our House of Assembly members.
You expect that they will all do very well.
We have a good team, a winning team.
Talking about Ekpe, your area, the federal constituency there, we're talking about agriculture, but maybe I can put fisheries under there.
Yes.
Maybe a bit illegitimately, but still. That is one thing that Ekpe is, you know, is known for. Yeah. It's seafood, I mean, you know, products from the sea. Has there been any development in that? It is known, but in terms of, you know, blowing it up and possibly, you know, expanding it, you know, supplying anything in that area. Have you had reason to work in that particular?
Yes, good enough. You are aware of, if you know Ekpe very well, we have a traditional fish market in Ekpe, known as Oluwo Market, you know. Our amiable Senator Tokunbo Abiru recently, you know, redeveloped that market, you know, to create to make the area, I mean, the market more conducive, you know, for the fish sellers and those who visit, I mean, and their patrons, you know. And also before I also intervene in that area with the provision of a processing and storage facility in that market. You know, so today that place is wearing a new look. You know, courtesy of Honorable Abiru.
All right, Mr. George has called in from Lagos. A fine morning to you, Mr. George.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. George.
Good morning to your guests. Can you hear me, please? Hello?
Well,
hello, can you hear me?
There's something going on here, because if Mr. George is responding, then
Yori, can you hear me?
We're not hearing anything in studio.
Hello? Hello? Hello, Uncle Yori, can you hear me?
Let's go on. Mr. George, I'm so sorry. I understand that you are speaking, but we can't hear you. So let's go on a quick break.
Everyone has a Chivita this season. What's your Chivita?
In the month of December, on the 1st, it is World AIDS Day. On the 3rd, attention shifts to persons living with disabilities. And December 9th is dedicated to International Anti-Corruption Day. 10th is Human Rights Day, while the 11th is the second anniversary of the abduction of over 300 students in Kankara, Katsina State. On the 12th of December, the World Health Organization dedicates the day as Universal Health Coverage Day. On the 17th of December, the abducted Kankara boys were freed 6 days after. 18th of December is set aside as International Migrants Day. It is the last month of the year. Brace yourself for an interesting December. Stay with TVC News.
Every 1 hour, 86 migrants enter Lagos State. It is a beehive of activities. Every second counts in this city that never goes to sleep. There is always something to talk about. We go the extra mile to tell the story of Africa's 5th largest economy. We track happenings on land, on waterways, and in the air. We go against all odds to ensure that you are heard.
25% of the entire spread of Lagos is covered with water.
I'm Adedoja Salamageni. I live in Lagos.
Okay, hello there. We fixed it. I hope Mr. George is still on the line. Good morning, Mr. George.
Good morning, Uncle Yori. Can you hear me now?
Yes, okay, and thank you very much for holding on all that while. Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
All right. So my greetings to your guests as well.
Okay.
Uncle Yori, I am concerned about the way our legislative procedures are going on in the country now. What do I mean? You know, the Speaker said something, that the longer a legislator stays in power, the better. What I know he means is that lawmaking has a lot of economic research and then drafting of the law itself. So if you have just come, the first term, one term is not even enough for them to familiarize themselves with the procedure and get used to it. That's why you see in advanced democracies, you see somebody in the United States Senate who has been there for 40 years. In England, you see the same thing. In most other developed democracies, you see lawmakers being there for 4, even up to 5 decades. But in our own case, it seems that it's taking a different trend. They are now talking, the lawmakers are now talking about constituency projects. That is the work of the executive. The lawmakers ought to make, they are the ones that approve a budget for the executive. That budget is a law, and it is their duty to make that law and then put the executive on their toes to ensure that the law is implemented to the letter. That is the work of the legislators. But what we see happening now is they get more involved in executive functions. I think this trend needs to be addressed.
Okay.
Otherwise, we will lose sight of this concept of separation of power. They no longer talk about law. They always talk about projects. It's not their work.
Okay, let me bounce this off Honorable Wale Raji and see his take on it. In the U.S., for example, you have this concept of ranking senators. They've been there, and as Mr. George was just saying, you become familiar with the terrain. I think you also spoke about that. But as to his charge, that this is delving into the area of the executive as opposed to law making. That's right. Your commentary.
Yes. Well, I want to thank Mr. George for his comment. He's right to some extent, but the performance, I mean, the basic functions of a legislator are lawmaking for good governance and representation of their people and also oversight.
Yes.
Now, and you should also not forget that the primary purpose of government is welfare and security of lives and property of the people they represent. Now, what is happening right now is a reflection of our level of development. Now, how in an area where you have that your people lack basic infrastructure in education, in health, also empowerment. You are as their representative, you go to them to canvass for votes. When Mr. President is campaigning, it doesn't go beyond the state capital. When the governor is campaigning, it doesn't go beyond the local government headquarters. But the legislators, both at the national level and at the state level, they go to nooks and crannies of the constituency. And when you are selling, you are seeking votes, there's no separation. You campaign for all your candidates.
Okay, so
from the presidency,
so it can't be as watertight as in a much more developed society. But I beg your pardon. No, I know there's more. Yeah. So you, please rope it into maybe the answer from our next caller, who has been waiting for quite a while. Yeah. And we thank you, Reverend Dominic, for holding on all that while. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Chief Yori.
Thank you for calling in.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Good morning to your guest.
Good morning.
Yori, I wish you can give me some seconds to make this point.
Please do. Take it.
And I want to thank George, who has almost what I want to say. My brother George, God bless you. When I was listening to this particular meeting, this program on radio, I was driving. I thought you were talking to Governor of Lagos State or Governor of a state. These, our brothers, legislators, are making things difficult. It is important to know that cost of electricity today is costly. When the legislator went to go and say, I'm going to put light, I'm going to put water, I'm going to build roads, they make things difficult. They make people like us who can't campaign. The work of a legislator anywhere in the world is not constituency. He's talking like a local government chairman. And I want to disagree with him. When president comes to talk to us what we do in Nigeria as a constituency. When a governor comes to campaign, he comes to state to tell the state what he's going to do the state as his constituency. The legislator has to go to his locality and say, this is my governor. When I go there, I will make law to make it easy for him to bring water here, to make it easy for him to bring road here, to make it easy for him to run education here. That is work of parliamentarians. This particular constitutional allowance, if you remember in 1999 to 2003, it was like war. Obasanjo fought it because it was shaking corruption. It was shaking manipulation. And because of Nigerian politics, they have their way. A constitutional project is a fake. A legislator is supposed to go there with open hands and make his work easy. Okay. And not make to the governor of the state that makes him to look for money anyhow to create constitutional allowance. That is wrong. This is what I think today.
All right.
They supposed to go to parliament and do their work. And leave the secretaries in government. Leave the constitution works with local government. So George is saying the right
thing. Thank you, Reverend Dominic. Thank you, Reverend Dominic, for calling in. Yeah. And fortunate enough, I had said you might want to rope some more of the points you were. That's right. But and the questions, as he said, it's quite, it's in the same area.
Yes. Well, like I was saying, it's a reflection of our level of development. Now, like I said, that when you are seeking election, you are seeking votes from the electorate. You go as the candidate of your party. You campaign for all your candidates from the presidency up to the House of Assembly. Now, the people expect performance. People expect dividend of democracy. It will be irresponsible of you as a legislator to now, at the point of need of the people, to now say, no, it's not my responsibility. They do not people do not care about the separation of power, because when you are seeking, you are campaigning, you are not talking of separation of power. So and when they need, their needs, you are closer to them.
Yes.
You interact with them on a daily basis. So, now, their needs, they are brought to you, and it is for you to ensure that their needs are met.
You can't explain that I have to stay in my lane.
You can't.
It doesn't work like that.
There's a thin line.
Okay.
There's a thin line of...
Mazi Okorafo in Arochukwu, good morning to you, sir. I just lost that call. So sorry. So you were saying that, look, whereas you understand what first Mr. George and then Reverend Dominic have been talking about, and you've said that, look, you know, it's okay. You said in the first instance that, look, they're right to an extent, but you put it down to the level of our current development.
Yes, even in developed countries that they are referring to, legislators still lobby for governmental intervention in their constituencies.
Area. So, okay, how about the lawmaking function? Because that is very, very important.
Yes.
Do you think legislators speak for your area, House of Representatives? Do you think legislators pay enough attention to that, the actual lawmaking? Because somebody was pointing out that, look, rather than saying that I will light this place, I will do that, laws that will enable, perhaps even insist that this must be done, and to not do it will be an infringement. That's the way some people are seeing it. What would you say to that?
Well, as far as our National Assembly is concerned, and particularly the current assembly, I mean, we have not abdicated our legislative functions.
Okay.
I mean, for instance, I can talk about myself. I mean,
have you sponsored any bill in the past
not
8
less
years?
than 10? Not less than 10.
One moment. Let me not lose Lukman, who is calling in from Accra, Ghana. Good morning, Mr. Lukman in Accra, Ghana.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning, sir.
Happy New Week, sir.
Indeed. Thank you.
Sorry, let me quickly ask this question from the honorable member.
Yes.
Please, honorable, about the constituency project. This allocation, why is it difficult for honorable member to tell their constituency how much is being allocated to them? Secondly, why is it that is the honorable member that always pick project for their constituency? I think you should always go to your ward. If you are representing about 9 or 10 wards, go to each ward, ask them what are the problems, what are their priorities, what they need at the moment, and you'll be able to share the allocation from the constituency allocation that they give to you, and share it among the wards. Not that it's the honorable member or the senator that will be telling them, I want to do empowerment. Most National Assembly members always do empowerment, which is fraudulent, because we cannot trace those empowerments. Those are my questions. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
I think to answer him, all these projects we're talking about, by my own something, is based on the needs of the people, based on the requests of the various constituencies. For instance, Temu that we spoke about, they had no school, and they sent representatives to me that for intervention. They sent representatives to me for intervention, and we had to respond. We cannot ignore them.
Okay.
So it is based on the request of the constituents of the constituents.
Okay.
So it's not just that you just sit down one morning and start thinking. I mean, for them, what they need. It is based on the request of the constituents. And let me also state this. Like I was saying earlier, that it would be irresponsible of us. You know, your people do not have light, they do not have water, they do not have, and we are now saying that no. It's my job is lawmaking. You know, so we will get there.
Mm-hmm.
We will get there. But we should not be too much in a hurry. For as long as we are at this stage of development, you know, there will still be need. It requires that all hands must be on deck,
okay,
you know, to meet the needs of the people. Because the whole essence of lawmaking is for good governance.
Indeed.
And the primary purpose of government is welfare and security of lives and property. Now, the Constitution does not talk about separation. We are talking of government, and there are three arms of government: executive, legislature, and judiciary. Two are elected, you know, executive and legislature. So the whole essence is government to meet the needs of the people, and that is their welfare, security, and security of lives and property.
And government is a continuum, as we've heard severally.
It's a collective responsibility.
And a collective. And in this regard, you mentioned former Governor Ambode earlier. Inevitably, his name would come up because we're talking about Ekwe anyway. Yeah. But the political dynamics, I wonder if you think it would affect anything. I understand that a commissioner from that era, I believe his name might be Honorable Oluwo, if I'm not wrong.
Oluwo, yeah.
Yeah, he has decamped.
Yeah.
First of all, he decamped into APC. Yeah. Now he's decamped out. Mm-hmm. I don't know if how this affects, if at all it does, the smooth running of the political machinery in the place. Are relations as they should be? Could they be better?
But I don't know. Maybe if I got it clear. Ambode is an individual.
Yes.
Is one of us from Ekpe.
That's
right. Our brother. And to the best of my knowledge, is still a member of APC. Oluwo served in his cabinet. And Oluwo is an adult, is an individual. And he has his fundamental human right of association. Before joining APC, he was in the party, another party, before coming to APC. I mean, I think 2018 or thereabout. No. I mean, before then. So, and if today he decided to change his political party, I mean, that is
these are individual decisions.
But there is no evidence that that decision was taken with the understanding or approval of Ambode. Okay. They can be friends.
Okay.
Ambode, I mean, Oluwo is my very good brother. He's my brother, but then we do not share the same political ideology.
And it is not indicative of a sort of a break in relations, a lack of harmony in the Ekpe family,
no,
APC.
None of that. Ekpe is a one-party division.
Okay.
Ekpe is a one-party division.
So
there is no opposition in Ekpe.
All right.
In Ekpe, I can tell you that.
Well, when you say there's no opposition, I remember there are other people who are also eyeing your seat. Those ones will be opposition. But
okay, I would say no strong opposition.
Okay, Emmanuel in Otokpo. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling in, sir.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Good morning.
Good morning to your guest.
Good morning.
I want him to please explain this to me. This constituency project.
Yes.
I don't know whether there is a difference between it and the fuel subsidy that we have been talking about. Because most of them monetize the constituency project into their pocket.
Emmanuel,
tell us
Emmanuel, how did you arrive at that equation? You know, constituency projects, fuel subsidy. Have you gone? I think he's gone. I think he's gone, but I don't know what you want to make of that.
The answer is obvious. They are not related in any way. You know, constituency project is projects that members, sponsor for the development of their constituency.
Okay, so you know, as I said, our caption really is today, our subject for discussion is the battle for Lagos. But you've made it seem as if which battle? You made it almost seem as if which battle? You've just said that, okay, since I have to concede, I'm not the only person here. There are other people who might be eyeing the seat, but you have said as far as you are concerned and members of your party are concerned, there is no strong opposition. You know, you amended that up from there is no opposition at all. So okay, let's be academic about it. There is no strong opposition. And you although that doesn't mean that you won't still go around and campaign.
Oh, definitely.
You know,
I mean, we've been campaigning. I mean, we had our presidential campaign about 3 weeks ago. About a week ago, we had our state campaign with flag off, the governorship campaign.
Okay, I think I'm happy that we got Mazi Okorafor back. Good morning again, Mazi. Thank you for calling back.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Honorable Wale.
Thank you,
Mazi. Now that the out of school number, how are you going to handle this out of school children in your own constituency? Why am I asking this question? Because there are three cardinal things an honorable member must give to his constituency: education, and sound health facilities, and 247 security. Now, education is, and even that's out of school. How are you going to handle it? And secondly, the university students now in your own constituency. Now that universities have started fixing school fees, how will you help, or how are your people going to help?
Okay, Mazi, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mazi, for calling in. You know, because we're fast running out of time.
Well,
the answers have to be brief.
Yes. First, efforts we are making towards reducing out-of-school children. One, Lagos State is one of the states with the lowest out-of-school out-of-school children, and all the efforts that we have made, the intervention we have made in education, in the area of education, where there was no school, we have provided a secondary school there. Where there are no enough classrooms, we have provided in about 13 schools in a peripheral constituency. Okay. All these are geared towards reducing out-of-school children. And, I mean, the figures in Lagos State, I mean, it could be better, but compared to other states, it's far, far, far better. And I think he mentioned university students. I mean, luckily, our governor, you know, just about a week ago, last week, issued a release, you know, reducing school fees in all the 3 tertiary institutions, I mean, universities in Lagos State. Okay. So all these are to make life comfortable for our students.
We're cutting it short there, but thank you very much, Honorable Wale Raji of APC Federal Constituency, representing the APC, representing the Federal Constituency. Yeah. And, you know, I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
The way you would say it is that there's no strong opposition, and I would not be surprised at all to hear from the opposition parties that it is his opinion. We shall meet on the field.
By the special grace of God, come May 29, our incoming president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, will be sworn in by the special grace of God. Our governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, will be sworn in as the governor of Lagos State for another term. Our senators, all the 3 of them in Lagos State, will also be inaugurated. And all the 24 members of the House of Representatives will all be APC, and the 40 members of the House of Assembly, I tell you that.
You don't even want to leave 1 or 2 or maybe 5 for opposition. It's okay. It's okay. Thank you very much, Wale Raji, for coming on our program this morning. So that's our program today. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.
The World Cup season is here again, and you can almost feel the excitement in the air. The best national teams in the world will be battling it out to determine who lives the coveted FIFA World Cup trophy come December 18th, 2022. Wondering what each team's shadow looks like, where the seat in the standings, who will be playing who, and what to expect? We've got you covered with all the previews and reviews you need to stay right on top of everything in Qatar on FIFA World Cup Fans Special Show. Coming live on TVC News YouTube daily for 13 minutes, 15 minutes preview before the match, and 15 minutes review post-match of the day. Keep up with all the actions happening in Qatar with expert match previews and reviews from our seasoned sports pundits. And guess what? You also stand a chance to win loads of exciting prizes when you predict correctly the outcome of the match of the day. To participate in FIFA World Cup Fans Special, subscribe to TVC News YouTube channel. Enter your prediction in the comment section of the match of the day video. Use the hashtag FIFA World Cup Fans Special in your predictions. Finally, include the last 4 digits of your number with your predictions. Let's play!
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
My name is Femi Adebayo. This holiday season, StarTimes is taking us to a better level. You can step up your family entertainment with the StarTimes upgrade promo. You recharge 2 months on Nova Bouquet and get upgraded to Basic or Smart Bouquet. Recharge 2 months on Basic or Smart Bouquet, you get upgraded to Classic or Super Bouquet. And if you recharge 2 months on Classic or Super Bouquet, you get 10 days free on your subscription. This upgrade automatically qualifies you for a weekly draw to win 55-inch Smart TV, PA systems, home appliances, and more. These prizes are proudly sponsored by Longreach, Wayon, and Amaz. This promo is from the 15th November to 15th January 2023. Times and conditions apply. On StarTimes, every day is the best day ever. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. StarTimes. Entertain your family.
The following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. Introducing the new Pressure King Pro from ShopX TV. The amazing 14-in-1 digital pressure cooker that saves you time and money. Want to cook proper meals but can hardly find the time? We all have busy schedules, but hurried lifestyles means meals on the run, maybe even whole weeks with too much processed or fast foods. The amazing ShopX 14-in-1 digital pressure cooker cooks up to 90% faster than conventional appliances. And because it cooks so much faster, you're not just saving time, but saving money too. Cooking a whole chicken in the Pressure King Pro could use up to 6 times less electricity than the average oven, saving you time and cash. This delicious chicken pepper soup could take 1 hour in conventional cookware, but with the Pressure King Pro, you'll cook it in just 15 minutes. This mouth-watering jollof rice is cooked in just 10 minutes in the Pressure King Pro, so you really can make fresh traditional meals for your family with ease. This delicious mixed bean porridge was made with fresh ingredients in just 30 minutes. Now that is fast food. Pressure King Pro is the one-pot solution that cooks